An urgent warning for Americans visiting Colombia after a string of deaths in tourist hotspots. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota urging travelers not to use dating apps in the country, writing in a security alert that criminals are using the sites to lure victims, with many U.S. citizens drugged, robbed, and even killed by their Colombian dates. Embassy officials confirming the deaths of at least 8 Americans traveling in Medellin, possibly linked to the apps.
So, you know what's actually crazy about this? The fact that they know at least 8 people that have been killed because of this app. That's 8 that they know of. That's not even 8 that, that's just the 8 that come to light. There could be more situations that have happened that have just not come to light yet. So, okay. So from what it seems like, when it comes to dating right now, it seems like it's a very tough world to be in. It seems like there's just this big disconnect between men and women. Women have an idea of, hey, men should be this way, and this is the kind of man I'm looking for. And men also have their way of, hey, this is what I want. This is, I want to be appreciated. This is how I want my household to go, and this, that, and the third. And a lot of ways of how people are viewing things, it's still from more of an older mindset, to where it doesn't play out in today's day and age. There's too many things that have changed. We've gone through that process of where society has changed to a certain point. And that happens every so many years. Society changes. Things become more acceptable. Things that were acceptable aren't as acceptable anymore. And we've been going through that. And especially in the dating world, it seems like it's completely shifted. It's not that same way of grandma and great grandpa and all of that back then. I would say even to argue about with parents, with just your mom and dad. It's a different dating age than how it was with them too. So especially with men have been clinging to that old way of how with relationship how it should be, to where they've branched out and gone to other places of the world to try to find women that can meet the needs that they want. And the problem is that, there's nothing wrong with going out and trying to find somebody in a different, area of the world. To me, I think that's a beautiful thing. If you can find somebody else out there and, if it's a genuine thing, you guys fall in love, that's cool, because now you're going to learn more, because now you're going to learn more about the actual world itself. We walk around and do so many things. We have our own routine day to day that we don't really think about the fact that there is a whole world out there, right? So if you do find somebody, that's really cool. But a lot of people are doing it too because they want to go out and they want to meet their sexual needs and stuff like that. And they're finding out that, well, if you don't do your homework, you can end up in a very bad situation. That's why before you travel man, woman, always make sure you do your homework. You always learn about that area. Remember, we have the internet on our phones. There's so much information out before you travel anywhere that you can definitely make sure that you're up to date and that you know the pros and cons. You may not know every specific little thing because there's things that you don't learn until you're actually out and about and actually getting to know people. In certain ways of culture, you have to actually live it in order to understand it. But you can try to educate yourself as best as possible. Another thing too, a lot of people are going out and they're traveling and they're just thinking that they can just bring their way of life into a whole different type of area and thinking that's going to fly, but you end up standing out and you make yourself a mark and other people take advantage of that. That's one thing too. If you travel, always travel with, I would say, at least 3 people, at the very least 3 people. And then, make sure you guys are in constant communication with each other. So that way, if something goes wrong, they can automatically be like, okay, this isn't right. They didn't communicate at this time. And we need to figure this thing out. But to kind of get back to what I was talking about with the dating world, it's just, I think a lot of people, they're so quick to want to rush in and have somebody, and they think they've gotten to this certain point in life, and even financially, they're like, okay, I make this much money, now I want to find somebody. This is how life is going to go. But it's not like that. I don't think a lot of people really take this time out to really not just grow financially, but but grow as an actual person. As to, a lot of times people are so quick to want to bounce back and bounce into something. They don't really take that time out to really get to know themselves and really reflect on, hey, maybe this went wrong in this relationship because it's me. Maybe I did this wrong. Maybe I wasn't this understanding and compassionate to this person's needs. Maybe I wasn't, this, that, and the third. So that way, when they do get another relationship, they have a higher success rate. And that's with both sides, right? And I think that's where the whole disconnect is kind of happening, to where everybody wants something, but they don't care about what the other person wants. And they kind of don't really look at them as like, hey, this is an actual person, right? And then they think that it's just going to be all sunshine and rainbows, where with a relationship, you're going to have good days and you're going to have bad days too. And you're going to have times where you're going to have to come to a point, kind of like in those meme pictures and stuff where it shows like you're at the fork in the road. You have this path that can lead this way and this path to lead that way. And a lot of times the harder path is to, hey, really talk to that other person, see where the issue was, what can you do, talk with the person, and then kind of come to some kind of mind blown. Come to we'll just say some kind of understanding and solution to that, so that way you guys keep growing. There's a lot of giving in a relationship more than taking. There's times where you're going to argue, and there's times where you're going to have to just take one for the team and be like, hey, you know what? How bad do I really want this to go? And is this something that can't be amended, or this can't be, fixed? Do we just end it here? And a lot of people are too quick to just want to give up when it hits the bad point. And a lot of bad areas of it can be stuff that can be actually solved. It's just that people are just so quick to throw in the towel that they don't really think about it. So, and I think that's where in this dating world, there's too many quitters now. There's not that, hey, I'm going to fight for that one person. I'm going to accept I did this wrong. And then boom, boom, boom. And I'm talking about on both sides now. And, because I really love that person and I know there's light at the end of this tunnel. So, it's unfortunate that this is where we're at. But if that's what you want, you're going to have to learn. If you want a successful relationship, you're going to have to learn to deal with the negative side of it too. And not always thinking that the grass is going to be greener all the way over here, and that this person in this other country is going to think that they're lucky to be with me because I'm just this amazing, successful, this, that, third, where you come over there with that kind of attitude, they're going to look at you like, oh, this is my payday. Because you don't know what kind of lifestyle they have over there. You don't know what hardships, anything. And to go over there and just automatically assume that you're just going to be big Joey badass out there, it goes wrong too often. So, anyways, let me know in the comment section down below. What do you think? Like the video, subscribe, share it, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.